Hey everybody, and welcome to the first episode of One at a Time Lads. My name is Zach, and this is a new Guild Ball gameplay channel I've created to take a more conversational look at recorded games. Rather than narrate in detail every playbook result of every activation, myself and my opponent in each video will sit down and chat about the game we played, our thoughts on things we might have done differently, etc. Hope y'all enjoy it! Hey everybody, welcome. We're going to be recording some commentary for a video we recorded a few weeks. My name is Zach, and I'm playing engineers in this video.
And my name is Randall, and as usual, I will be playing my Masons.
Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so we've dealt out game plans, and I've selected back in the game, keep your chin up, grudge match, fullback, and the offside trap.
Then I go ahead and throw mine up here. I take seize the initiative, won't touch the hair, dig deep, keep the ball moving, and go for the knees.
Alright, so we tie the first roll off. Randall gets optimistic about his dice.
Randall dice being a tradition around the store for when my dice absolutely bone me.
So I win the roll off and I choose to receive.
I don't know if I want to talk about strategy on plot cards at all, but I try to grab one of the highest ones, one that gives me 1+1 influence, and then I sort of go from there and see what's left.
Yeah, usually good call. If I ever see go for the knees, I'll pretty much always take that one.
Fair. I think we just picked the captains there.
Yeah, and we've got Pin Vice versus Hammer, which is a matchup that I've been theorizing about for a while, considering that in Season 3 mostly, I had just been banging my head against the wall with Ballista and the Hammer. So I had the theory that Pin Vice might work out better for me.
And meanwhile, I fall victim here, I think, a little bit to the internet telling me what's good, because I generally prefer Honor. I think more along how Honor likes to play. And I took Hammer here mostly because Hammer, on paper, I think, plays better into Engineers. And I've been thinking about it since this game. I think a big part of the problem is my play style of Masons and of Hammer doesn't necessarily work into Engineers.
So what are you just talking about against my super aggressive scoring tactics, or?
Yeah, so the way I want to play Hammer generally versus Honor. So you'll see it. It'll come up. I think it'll be a pivotal moment in this game where I kick the ball off back into the scrum, and something I shouldn't have done. Except with Honor, I think I could have done more things with that, with linked and superior strategy. Where Hammer just being more linear, straightforward, I think it burns me.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. So I don't know if Tower was necessarily the right choice. I really don't think against the list that I took, given Colossus, my only tooled up model, or my only tough hide model, I should say.
Yeah, but also Velocity was thinking is because Velocity with the reanimate, but then tooled up on a 3 damage, you can take them right back down on 1 hit.
That's fair.
That was pretty much my plus the knockdowns being the only real condition you pass out. A lot of times I take Tower and I think, oh, he'll protect me against knockdowns. And I never end up using that aspect of him, but on paper, it comes back to my on paper, this is a good idea, and then the way I play it, it never happens.
There's a lot about that, or a lot of the time where just you can't feel like you can't necessarily afford either the influence or the activation at that time.
Right. And if, once Hammer goes top of the turn, now the tool doesn't matter, Hammer's already activated. So what is Tower doing on my list?
These days a tooled up Granite or someone can do some work.
Certainly, if I was running O-Chisel, which I don't believe I did here, I think I took V-Chisel.
No, you took V-Chisel.
But if I was running O-Chisel, I think there's an argument for Tower with O-Chisel.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, she can also stack the damage.
Yeah, that's, pretty high. 4 influence, 12 damage. A lot of times you can pick somebody and wipe them out.
So it looks like we've got you lined up with a Wrecker ready to go across the back of your team and just push everybody up.
And not Hammer, because Hammer's kicking, and I've noticed that Wrecker's good for everybody except Hammer, because you don't really want to knock the pushback immunity off of Hammer.
Yeah, and you also don't necessarily need it once you've already taken that jog up to kick.
Although one of the things I found with Hammer is very, very linear. You can put down a stick and say, okay, this is how far he threatens. And really, aside from Wrecker, the only thing that changes that is marked target, which is handy because everybody forgets it, but not handy because you've got to charge, you've got to have the open charge lane, so on and so forth.
So what I really like about engineers this season is just how versatile, and really last season too, is just how versatile we are at being able to retrieve the ball. Both of our mascots, I only take mainspring, but both of our mascots can retrieve the ball and do something with it for either very long ranges and for very low investment. So we don't really have to commit one of our power pieces to a flank to get the ball back. We've got Salvo, who can tether ball. Colossus, a lot of the time, you can, on the first turn, he's not going to do much, so you can easily just let him run after the ball. I do miss long legs.
Yeah, kicking into you with engineers is always tough because there's really nowhere to put the ball that is really going to give you a problem. So a lot of times it's more just, all right, where do I want the ball? Because I know you, and I know how this, the ball is going to end up on velocity in the end of the first turn anyways. So it's more, where do I want my models to be after kicking off?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the time, people don't like kicking over to where mainspring is because they want me to at least have to spend influence on getting the ball. So what I like to do is put mainspring on the side that I would prefer they not put the ball to help control kind of where my opponent kicks off.
I think my thought process here is just, you want hammer in the center of the scrum. And here, if it scatters hard left on like a 5 or I think maybe a 6, I could give you a little bit of trouble. No, sorry, 1 or 2 on that side, huh? To the left.
Yeah, up towards the top of the screen.
Right. Yeah, I think my math here is just, well, I'm not going to see that ball, but maybe it'll be slightly inconvenient for you to have to go get it.
It definitely had me waste a bunch of time trying to figure out a way to do it with Salvo that doesn't leave him in threat of hammer. I think I end up just kind of biting that bullet and assuming you're not going to commit hammer this early. Also, something that I realized later, a bit of a spoiler for the video, I think I go through this entire game without dealing a single point of damage.
I believe that. That's how Zach plays engineers.
Well, sort of. I always... my theory
you are
with
team
engineers,
anti-gun line.
Yeah. My usual goal with engineers is to aim for a 3-3, knowing that I can 3-0, knowing that I can usually quote unquote fail down to a 2-2.
3-3 try hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get 3 goals and 3 takeouts. That's my plan.
And that was something we were talking about earlier before we started recording, which is our meta, we just don't ball kill. Probably should ball kill, particularly in this game. We just don't ball kill.
Yeah, there's some points where Randall made some very aggressive moves with the ball that we'll let you see how those turn out.
But really nobody in our group, in our regular group, really is, I guess maybe Jim with Butchers a little bit, but really nobody kills the ball.
Right, and we've got a bunch of new players. I'm our local pundit, so I've been trying to teach people the game a little more, and I'm trying to impart some higher level strategies. And as much as I hate the ball killing thing, being a very scoring focused player, I've been trying to impart some knowledge on when to take the ball out of the game.
I clearly haven't learned that, as you'll see.
Which, hey, I'm happy about.
Which is why I should be playing Honor.
I like the ball in Guild Ball.
I think every time I've actually played you in one, it's been a 6-point activation. Honor or Hammer or whomever. It's always winning with a 6-point activation.
Pretty much. The game before this that we had played against each other, you had been playing Honor and had a link to Honor takeout Harmony goal to win the game.
Right, yeah.
It does make me sad whenever I have to spend influence on a tetherball there, but it seemed better than the alternative.
And tetherball just gives you such a huge area that if the ball's open at all, Salvo can just go get it.
Yeah, he threatens 14 inches getting the ball with a sprint and a tetherball for either 3 influence or 1 influence and a momentum. Plus 1 more to kick it somewhere. This is me just debating how safe I feel standing there with Hammer.
I think you put him out of Hammer's range. I thought you dodge him on the kick. We'll see.
Yeah, I think I dodged to
you took
where you can get to me, but you'd have to charge.
No, I would have had to mark target you to get to you. I'm pretty sure you put him just out of the 10.
Oh.
Because that's what I was saying about Hammer too. Is that
you're right. Because I just said that I forgot about marked target.
You can literally put down a 10-inch measurement stick and be like, well, that's what hammer does. As long as I'm outside of that, I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were playing here with effectively 46 minutes each on the clock. There was a setting that I had thought automatically did the extra minute activations, which turned out not to be the case, and just added a minute to the top of the thing for each of us. Didn't end up mattering, but
right. The clock it ends up playing absolutely no impact in this game whatsoever.
Yeah,
I'm sure Dan Riker is angry in a corner about that fact, but yeah, the clock does not matter here.
Yeah, just any of you viewers with keen eyes who can actually see those numbers, that explains it.
You can see those numbers. Go fly fighter jets.
There's another tendency I have to start proclaiming doom and gloom about what I've done after the first activation of turn 1. Messed up my positioning in this case, meaning someone's going to be in threat of hammer. But realistically, that's pretty hard to avoid.
Right. And that's still a 4-2 trade. That's not that bad.
I'm almost never worried about the points. I'm worried about the momentum. I'm worried about you being able to get last first.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's another thing worth noting is that first turn kickoff hammer, not very efficient on turning influence into momentum. Because sure, you might have a stack of 6 on him, but the delivery system of him, 1 for impetus, 1 probably for iron fist, 2 to charge. You're getting maybe 3, maybe on a wrap 4 momentum. Out of, 7, 8 influence when you start figuring out everybody else is also contributing into it?
Well, in a team like this, or really like any team that is not Ballista, you might be better off using that wrecker push on the first turn. Not a huge deal if you burn Stoic if I don't really have a good way to push you and you're coming in last. You're going to knock me down the first attack anyway, so you don't have to worry about the counter attack. Can save you an influence on impetus.
Would you miss a kick
turn
here?
Into 1 more. No, I made the kick. You would have been lamenting that would have been a really good one for me to miss.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
It was the kick out to mainspring.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm really just trying to slow him down, or at least force him to use his 1 momentum to glide if he really wants to effectively get anywhere. I think I decide against putting it on anyone just to leave Ratchet a little bit farther
Yeah, because like we said, I don't think he did any damage in this game.
No, when I was going through editing the video before we recorded this audio, I saw I didn't do a single point of damage. Yeah, so without Ballista and without having a real range presence here, even with that, I don't want to bring Granite farther upfield towards me. I'm not going to do much to Hammer, given that he's tough high, and if I'm just plinking away with character plays, I decide against really doing any sort of gun lining.
I think I recall hoping you were going to hit Hammer or whoever else, just so I could move Granite off of the plink.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'll take a damage for a 4-inch jog with her any day.
So we put squad tactics on Hammer, I guess just because you had the influence there.
So
I guess it was pretty optimistic thinking.
No, actually, yeah. So what I was actually thinking there was Hammer, if I go in on mark target and go get him, Hammer can actually push you back into her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Because the most common result you take with Hammer is the momentous 2 damage, 1-inch push, then the knockback. You can do a decent amount of repositioning someone into that squad tactics AO. It also comes down to I've got the influence on her and nothing else to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, here's me really telegraphing my intention, but
and it's like it's no surprise to anybody who's played a game against Zach.
At this point, really all you can do to stop it is get Vet Velocity up blocking the position, I guess.
Vet Harmony?
Vet Harmony.
Yeah. I think I tried to actually burn her over there a little bit, but one thing that I had thought about after this game that I should be looking to do more, because I know, you with Vet Velocity, also a lot of Shark players, you go in and you make that shot, but then you leave them there for snapshots. If I brought Granite over and, that's so you're kicking on 2 dice kick, needing 2 for the snapshot, Granite can turn off a lot of those snapshot turrets, but as you'll see, I bring her up the center and try to get aggressive with her instead.
Yeah, those,
because that's that thing I do.
That -2 dice for all crowd outs, not just attacks, is pretty brutal.
And also, especially against velocity with the 1-inch melee, you consider it 2 inches and ask him what he wants to do about that. Although you have bioacrobatics though, huh? Yeah.
But it still forces her to activate, which is something I like doing a lot, is snapshotting before they activate, so then they're still threatening upfield to get the ball back.
Yeah. This is that moment that I learned that mark targets not once per turn, which you think I would know, but has rarely ever come up that I've thrown it out twice.
So here comes
the velocity one.
And I think I've been over-allocating to her. I think on the first turn, if she's going to be overclocked, she really only needs 3.
Yeah.
An extra for an attack with her playbook usually doesn't end up doing a whole lot.
Is it run acrobatic shot? Yeah.
Yeah, or free charge.
Oh, right.
With overclocked.
No, I was counting the 3.
Yeah. Yeah, if she's not going to be overclocked, then giving her 4 for the goal, still good.
Attack for the dodge.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other reality is it's not like you're hurting. I mean, you got, 1 on most people to pass it around. It's not really like you're hurting for influence anywhere else.
Yeah, a couple for some range plays and for alternator on pin vice so that she doesn't have to glide over Granite's rough ground aura, just so I can save a little bit of momentum, try to threaten going first next turn. So here's her charging Granite, I believe. No, charging Harmony.
I think it was Harmony.
Yeah, it was Harmony. And you had defensive stance, I believe.
Yeah, I was making you look for the 6 on the off chance, but because I think when you measured it, I think you needed that to get the kick, that 1-inch dodge.
Yeah.
And I was, there's always the chance the dice could just whiff on you.
Yeah.
I also spend so much this turn wishing Wrecker was just an inch further.
And there's my first screamer of the game.
This, I think, is the questionable kick out. I think it's this one.
No, it's the next one.
Oh, it's the next one? Okay.
It's the next one. Yeah, this one's a pretty good. Keeping the ball back far enough that pretty much no matter where it goes, either one of your guys will get it, or it'll be somewhere where Hammer can get it without changing.
Oh, right, yeah, because this one goes over by the woods, and I think this one's fine.
Yeah. That screamer really helped me on the momentum race.
Yep.
Yeah, so the position of the ball there really does, I think, impact at least where you decide to throw.
Yeah, because I think I was planning on going into Salvo. Was it Salvo? Or no, Salvo was...
Probably Pin Vice.
Maybe it was Pin Vice, yeah.
Yeah.
But then having to go that way to get the ball, because I'm not going to leave the ball floating out there with you.
It does put you into the squishier target. Ratchet will die to a stiff breeze.
Right. So I put up the Iron Fist and do the charge.
Yeah, I decide not to declare any reactions, bank my momentum.
Yep.
Being a 4-1 versus a 3-1 isn't going to change what's about to happen to this poor guy.
I think there was a chance on the takeout here, but I would have needed a wrap, but I didn't get it.
Yeah, your dice were...
Well, because I'm +2 on the damage with Iron Fist and tooled up. So a wrap is an extra 4 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, if you had wrapped on that charge, I think you maybe could have done it. Mm-hmm. You would have had to be spiking a little bit for it. Just having to charge.
Well, he's a 3-1. He's a 3-1 normally. But then if I take the knockdown 2 damage, it becomes a knockdown 4 damage. Mm-hmm. I wrap to the 1. That's 7 damage knockdown on my charge. And I got, 2 attacks after it?
You've got 2 attacks left to do 5 damage if you want the influence left to kick.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not an absurd
because ask. So that, 5 damage on each of those influences is really only a 3 damage because I'm +2 on the damage. So I think 3 damage is 1 on his 4th playbook. Against the 2-1. On a 2-1, it's doable. I needed the wrap on the charge, though, which the defensive stance, I think, keeps me from getting.
I didn't take the defensive stance. Your dice just crapped out.
Well, yeah, okay. Which the Randall dice kept me from getting.
It's a thing in our meta that we call Randall dice. And it's not just bad dice. It's bad dice when you need them to be good, but exceptional dice when it really doesn't matter.
Right. It's like, oh, yeah, I need one dice tap in. Sure, all 5 of them will hit. I need 2 dice on 6 dice to hit for this attack, so I gain 1 momentum. Nope, whiff. Measuring out some knockbacks.
So you do take him down to 5 health
Right.
With that. So right now we've got the decision with the last influence of either going for the takeout or punting in the goal.
And I think it makes a difference here that I think you're, even with the takeout, I think you're beating me on momentum.
I don't think that's true, because with the takeout, you get 2 more momentum.
Right.
And you, right here, decide to shoot the goal and bonus time it. So you're putting yourself down.
No, I don't bonus time because that's 3 dice.
Right, because you're kicking over.
Oh, you're right.
Ratchet.
Yep.
So you do score the goal, which I think right here was maybe a bit of a blunder. I think hang on, putting Ratchet down to 1, killing him at the top of next turn.
And I can tell you what I'm thinking here, though, is that my concern is I don't kick the goal. You go first and strip the ball off me with somebody.
Either way, it results in the same outcome of me having the ball. Whether you score or I get the ball.
So with the score, I get a 4 point, and then I've got the takeout on Ratchet for 6 points next turn. I take him out now. I got 2, but then you pull the ball off me, and I lose the opportunity to get that 4.
Yeah, I think going for the takeout though leaves you with enough momentum, so I get a pretty decent scatter over here, right by the 2 people that I really want going after the ball. So
one of the things I'd counted too, I know Vet Chisel I usually consider to be pretty good at getting the ball back. So I figure the ball goes somewhere left there. There's a chance she can go find it, even if it lands on somebody. Because you got a lot of 1 inches over there, and she's got the 2-inch momentous tackle.
Yep, Colossus is my only 2-inch melee. Yep. So at the end of turn 1, the score is 4-4. I am up by not much. I think 2 momentum, maybe. I can't really see the dice.
Just enough that I know, even if I throw my 7, if you have a 6 or a 7, you win.
Yeah.
So I think I recall I go down and I just take one of my lower value but +1 influence cards, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. And Ratchet is on 5 health and knocked down. No one else has taken any damage at this point. So I played the grudge match, which was my highest initiative, just because I had to. I know that pretty much the game is over this turn. Whether it actually ends this turn or goes into the next one, this turn decides it. Randall plays Dig Deep, fishing for that extra momentum, knowing that the way I've tooled up my team, not literally tooled up, you know what I mean, I'm going for goals. So this singled out could potentially be very dangerous for me, depending on how things go, but you decide to put over there on Ratchet, which, I don't know, I think maybe putting it over on someone else. Yeah, you're going to kill Ratchet without too much trouble.
Sure. So my thought on that one is if I can only spend 1 influence on killing Ratchet, and I'm getting over into Salvo, and then because you don't activate Salvo. I think it's Pinvice you activate here.
Yeah, and I put my singled out over on Harmony, just because she's somewhat threatenable. Just kind of keep you honest.
I don't know who you would have had me put it on. I don't think I'd have put it on Velocity. It's got to be a squatty.
Yeah. I didn't leave you a ton of good choices for it, but I think Salvo would probably have been what I put it on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I was doing was fishing for the wrap for the 1 influence takeout on him. Which he's knocked down 2-1. I'm throwing 7 dice. Yeah, so it's not entirely unreasonable for me to get that wrap.
Yeah, with the singled out. So I just started really at this point of just building up as much momentum as I can early on, taking some activation penalties, and going in for a Pinvice Legendary Controller for an early goal. And then fish for the second goal, hopefully this turn between Salvo and Colossus. If not, don't lose too many people this turn and hope I can get it next turn. So Pinvice grabs it, she legendaries and bounces the ball around for 4 momentum or so.
Me just literally hoping you miss one of those kicks. Yeah. Any one of those kicks would have been fine. And I think you get greedy at one point and end up taking one more kick than you need to, just for the momentum.
Oh, I mean, I literally only need to make one kick to velocity and then controller her, and I can do it.
Right,
the whole point of this
leaving
is,
velocity unactivated.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I could go for the snapshot, but the whole point of this is just to get all my momentum that I'm going to get for the turn early. Since I'm spending a bunch of influence, I'm spending 3 influence on controller to get the sure thing goal. As sure thing as any goal ever is. Yeah, my dice for the kicks have been exceptionally hot. There have been more 6s than I get in any other game. So we go back to velocity having the ball at this point. I'm on 4 momentum. I'm considering the snapshot, but I decide to keep the momentum in hand rather than having to spend 2 for the snapshot, plus 1 to bonus time. And velocity just walks up to snapshot range, or tap-in range.
Tap-in, yeah.
And scores my second screamer of the game, leaving me on 5 momentum, but with 2 people activated at the top of the turn.
So at this point, what I'm pretty much thinking is, all right, well, you got that, but you've activated the 2 of them already. If I can get a double takeout between Hammer and V-Chisel, you got nobody left really to stop somebody else from going in and scoring. If I put the ball past your guys out into your half of the pitch where all my guys are. But I need the 2 takeouts here still, and Hammer ends up not... What I maybe should have done here is actually activated Hammer next, but I take V-Chisel next to try and get the setup.
So I think the big thing here is you go really aggressive with the goal kick.
I do, yeah.
Which, at this point... You really shouldn't be putting the ball in play at all, given that I'm at 8.
Right, but the trouble is where's not in play, because if I kick it off the top of the screen, right, I'm not getting anybody up there. Maybe Vet Harmony, but, I'm going to have a hard time getting anybody out there, and then that's just your ball to go get and score at top of next turn. If I put it where I'm putting it, and I don't know that I'm right with it, but my thought process is it leaves it in play if I can find the 2 takeouts, have the ball on one of my people, all of whom are in the center of the pitch.
I think the best thing to do would have been put it over by Tower in the bottom left. If it ends up too far up, you can in threat of Colossus, you can move him up and then bring it back a little bit, or kick it somewhere out of real range, and you've got all the advantage in the world when it comes to the takeout game here.
Right,
I am going to be struggling to do any of that.
Right.
Especially once Ratchet dies, so my tooled up is far away from Pinvice. So the ball scatters over by Pinvice. I decide to leave it free to keep it active for the turn, especially given that it's right over there by Salvo. And this really forces your hand into having to activate someone in the midfield first rather than Hammer right now. Because I
wasn't going to take Salvo out, I don't think. I guess maybe if I left Ratchet alone, I could have taken Salvo out. But without taking Salvo out, yeah, he gets the ball and passes for the snapshot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and having velocity with a clear line to the goal in tap-in range, she will take those snapshots every day and twice on Sunday.
There's another part of here where I thought, because I get greedy, and I want V-Chisel to put squad tactics up on Hammer. So I declined to use the momentum to dodge Hammer, because I could have dodged him back the 4, which I think would have taken him out of Colossus's being able to threat getting the ball off him and then passing it. And I actually, if you watch, I'll measure out the 4-inch and then realize, I haven't put squad tactics up yet.
Yeah, and even just doing the squad tactics before making the pass.
Yep. This is me measuring out how far I have to go, minimum range, to pick the ball up with V-Chisel.
Yeah, and at this point, you're really also trying to tie up Salvo with Vet Chisel, take advantage of your 2-inch melee, just try to make it hard for me to do things.
Well, the reality is you can always just walk away from Vet Chisel because she's on a knockdown.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And Salvo can be decently hard to tie up, given that he can basically buy a character play to get out of there. But it is certainly hard against the Hammer Prison, because even if I shoot Granite, you can always take the damage on Harmony and then drop Granite in there. Right. So if I want to do it, I'm investing either more influence into that or another momentum for the character play to then do it again to get away. But yeah, without having the ball, him being engaged.
That goes back to one of those things I was talking about at the beginning, too, because I have the Hammer Prison, but Hammer's not in the Hammer Prison. Because I can't play that, that's a slow grind lineup, and I just don't play that way.
And I certainly didn't, aiming for my 3 goals the way that I decided to play into this, I certainly didn't, play into that Hammer Prison strength, I think if you had killed the ball here rather than putting it back out to the center, I would have really struggled to make up the rest of the
down the tower, you're thinking?
Over to tower.
Yeah.
Because Colossus,
I think I was too worried about. Yeah, I think I was too worried about Colossus. Just he's got a 2-inch. I can't do anything about him coming over to tower.
No, but you don't have to.
But he is
keep
slower.
The ball on tower. You can pass it over to Wrecker, move Wrecker out of there on his turn, and then. But then Colossus goes up, but he doesn't get there this turn. You've got another turn to kill some of my people, some of my key people. Wasting time here while I talk to the store owner about Aristea.
Clock, just super not an issue here.
No.
Nobody worried about clock.
Clock has never really been a big issue in our games. We tend to play pretty fast when it's me versus Randall.
I used to be able to at least put clock pressure on people with Brick, but those were the days. I miss you, Brick.
Yeah, so here's where you pass Hammer the ball.
Yep. And then I measure out the 4, and then I realize, oh, wait, I didn't even put the friggin' squad tactics up. And because if I'm going to have a double takeout activation, I need the squad tactics up.
Yeah, so we're kind of figuring of what we were talking about earlier about how Salvo could get out of there and whether he can take the ball from range without knocking you down.
See, because I even measure it out.
Yeah.
And then I say, oh, wait, no, I can't.
Yes, if you go there, it's hard to tell now with your hands there. I think Colossus can still charge, get the ball, and pass to Salvo. Because he now has a line kind of in between Ratchet and Mainspring, where he can go clearing Mainspring because of his 2-inch melee. Maybe. It's tough to tell from this angle.
But yeah, then so I say I move him back because I was like, oh yeah, squad tactics. All right. So brief musical interlude.
Yeah, so right here, Chisel's attacking Salvo.
Right.
Really just because she has the influence, right?
We'll get in the numbers, of putting a couple of Mom 2s on him, brings him down a little bit.
Sure.
Sort of.
Which I don't think your dice really cooperate.
No, I think I completely whiff one of them.
Yeah, you think I might do 1 damage on him. Yeah. So this is the kind of puzzle that I like best playing a ball team. The ball is in one place. I don't have anyone who can immediately take it and score. How can I most efficiently actually get it to the goal? This is my favorite part of Guild Ball right here, honestly. So, yeah, I have Colossus charge in, going for that tackle on 2. He needs the extra range, the extra movement to get to ranged pass to Salvo, so I charge rather than sprint and attack. Figure I need those extra dice, even against a 4-1.
Yeah.
Which I just barely get. Get 3 successes. The result I need is on 2. So I luckily have a lot of momentum banked from that Pinvice Legendary ending with a
bonus timing,
ending with a Screamer. So I was sitting on 5 momentum from those 2 activations right there. And this brings Salvo out of there, not having to worry about squad tactics anymore, at least unless he's pushed in.
And then that dodge takes him out of Hammer's ability to go get him after finishing Ratchet.
So, I'm not entirely sure about this, but I think if you just ignore Ratchet and impetus yourself, do you have enough range to jog over there?
I'm also taking the Colossus hit if I do that.
Yeah, but Chisel's there to take the knockdown.
True.
I don't know if you've got the range there. I didn't really think about it until after the fact.
Yeah, because with the run, I have to go around the obstacle. I don't even know if I can fit between Ratchet and the obstacle.
No, I'm thinking if you impetus, you might have the jog to just get to it.
Oh, really?
Straight over. it's impossible to tell now.
Yeah, I definitely didn't even measure that out.
Yeah. It's something I didn't think about during the game. I just need to get Salvo as far away as possible. But looking at it now as we're recording this,
And of course, because I'm thinking, all right, I'll do the takeout. The takeout will also give me the knockback dodge to get me out of Colossus's melee.
Yeah.
Which I believe I ended up doing, so I'm not worried. But yeah, I didn't even think of it in terms of, oh yeah, I just pass the knockdown over to V Chisel and try to walk directly to him.
Yeah. Because after you kill Ratchet here, you usually do a little bit of repositioning with the knockback, but by the time you get over to Salvo, you don't have the influence left to both get the ball from him and move it somewhere else.
Yeah, so this is the kill Ratchet.
Yeah, you take one hit on him first to dodge out of Hammer, leave him alive.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to kill him, but I didn't have the tooled up on him, so I only had the Iron Fist. I needed 4.
Yeah, losing the die from Colossus.
Right. So I throw him in 6 on what is it, 2-1 knockdown?
Yeah.
So I need the whole playbook to reach my 4, which wasn't happening. I could 6 every dice and still not get it.
Here, I think
Did I forget to singled out? He was singled out, wasn't he?
I don't think you forgot it.
It just must have.
You think you just
rolled
missed
it and missed? Yeah, Randall dice.
I'm not sure. Yeah, because here you wrap for the kill.
Yeah, so I take the push, so I push him over and then do the knockback to go to more directly towards where I'm trying to get.
Yeah, because at this point you have 3 influence left on him.
Right. And I think I have to, what is it, impetus and jog. Or no, is it impetus and run? What do I measure out?
Well, that's a 7-inch, so...
Right, because that's my charge range without impetusing. I think I end up outside of the 1 there. Zach selling me on buying more widgets.
Everyone should have a set of steppers. Yeah, so this is measuring out just the sprint or the impetus jog. So you have to spend 2 to impetus and sprint. I get confused because impetus stayed the same cost but changed how much it moved your movement.
Yeah, I think I impetus jog because I think I 1 for Iron Fist, 2 to take out Ratchet. That's 3. The impetus is 4, and then I've got 2 attacks afterwards.
You only make 1 attack.
Oh, then yeah. I guess I do impetus run, huh?
Yeah, I was confused about the cost, given that Alternator had become cost 2 for whatever reason. I thought Impetus did as well.
That would really hurt Hammer.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been horrible.
Really hurt Hammer.
It wouldn't have made any sense for Iron either, the only other player that has Impetus, so that was just a complete brain fart for me. Yeah, so Salvo's out of cover here. Yeah, no, if you had the influence there, if you had 2 influence left on him to take the ball and pass away, I would have been in real trouble.
Yeah.
So it's a bonus timed attack. I do not counterattack.
I still only barely get it, huh?
I had 4 hits. It's on the result you need is on 2.
Yeah. Is it 4 hits or 3 hits?
4.
Oh.
Yeah, and Salvo is there with a full stack on him, so you kind of have to be sitting on the ball, because if you just leave it free, he's getting that.
Right.
Now, another thing I wonder, looking at this, you're no longer engaged. If you were close enough to drop the ball and have Chisel pick it up...
I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so.
You've got an inch away from you,
right.
30 millimeters of the ball.
So it's about a 3-inch and change.
Yeah, about. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're out of that, but that
would have been tight,
that could have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have. It's true.
That would have certainly made a lot harder for me.
Yes.
Yeah, so here's me figuring out the only influence I have left on the board is the 4 on Salvo. trying to figure out just how to get that ball off Hammer without being knocked down again in the process. So I clear my condition. Yeah, make a bonus timed attack. Just hope I can hit that tackle double dodge.
Which I believe you do.
No, I don't. I fail, but you do counterattack, and I dodge out of the counter. And I jog back in.
Oh, right. That's how you did it. Yep.
Yep.
Getting all excited, picking my dice up. It's very sad, okay? I see what you're doing now.
Yeah, I spend a long time measuring where I'm going to dodge to when it doesn't really matter because I'm just going to
walk
jog.
Right back in, yeah.
Like I said earlier, a velocity with a clear path in tap-in range. So, with 3 influence left, plus the heroic,
yep.
I've certainly got the tackle and the dodge on the table. So, I take the ball, attack again, get a dodge into range. Yeah, and I do decide to take a push dodge to burn the stoic just in case I miss this and the game continues, which really wouldn't have mattered because the turn's basically over.
I had Wrecker still. I could have picked the ball up that way, dropped it off.
Oh, yeah, I mean, as far as anything I could do to push Hammer.
Right, yeah.
And then here it is for the bonus timed pass to velocity.
Spoiler alert, it works.
And there was a little bit of contention about whether she was there. There may have been because there was some bumping that happened, I think.
Oh, yeah, right.
But nothing had actually interacted with her since she took the shot, so that closed out the game.
Yep.
So, looking back on it at the end, I think a couple things. The biggest thing there, I really think, is the that kick out. That goal kick. Yeah. That goal kick ends up being big.
The goal kick, the decision on, kicking the goal, kicking my goal with Hammer, and then kicking the ball back out once you kick the goal. Those 2 decisions.
Yeah. Another thing that I think could have been really interesting if you did was to activate, rather than activate Hammer when you did, go with Wrecker and bump velocity out of tap-in range and put yourself right in front of her, block line of sight to the goal, be engaging.
Well, you don't block line of sight to the goal because the 50 mil base on the goal is still bigger than the 40 mil base. Or I guess if you're 30 right up next to it, you should,
yeah, you can block line of sight just with the angles. Make her go from 4 dice needing 3s to 3 dice needing 5s.
Yeah.
Becomes pretty good and at least buys you some time. Hammer still has that takeout when he wants it. The ball is on Salvo, who might just be able to run over and do it himself.
That was the thing. Yeah, it was the thing, because if I don't go with Hammer there, Salvo's gone.
Yeah. Because Salvo at that point, he probably could just sprint around the edge of that obstacle, maybe plink someone for the dodge if he needs it, and then just shoot himself.
I didn't take the knockback when I knocked down tackle, did I?
No, you didn't.
I should have.
We were base to base at the start of that attack.
We shouldn't have been.
We should.
Because I could have. Yeah, because I could have knocked you down, taken the ball, and push you.
Yeah.
So that you would have had to walk in.
Yeah.
It would have stopped you from doing the dodge out, walk back in to counter.
Or would have at least forced me to
but
character play to do it.
I should have. Yep, I should have. I think I probably based you fearing your counterattack when I shouldn't have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, because that would have changed that whole Salvo activation.
Yeah, because I would have linked someone with a character play, which would have, no matter who I shot, would have let Granite jog over, and I think Granite would have then been able to get in there to crowd me out.
Certainly to stop, even if nothing else, because she'd had to go around Harmony.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she'd have been able to crowd you out, but certainly to stop that line, crowd you out on the kick.
Get in the way, make things harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although no, because she wouldn't have had 4 inches to Hammer where Hammer was for the if you damaged Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
You could damage Hammer. It's only 4 inches.
Only 4. I thought it was 6.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless I could have passed the damage. I think I might have been able to pass the damage to Vet Harmony from Hammer.
She's outside of 4 from Granite.
No. They're right next to each other.
Oh, whoops, I was looking at Chisel. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I
could have done it that way. Pass damage to Harmony, dodge or Juggernaut that way.
Yeah, that whole Hammer Prison, as it's been coined, is a real puzzle box, which I decided to just not engage with.
Hammer didn't hang out in his prison. Like, that goes back to what I was saying at the beginning about how I want to play Honor because I don't play Hammer the way you play Hammer in Hammer Prison.
Yeah. I think even beyond the way you played Hammer, I think the Hammer Prison is so good at making any damage the enemy team deals ineffective and almost a hindrance to do damage.
Unless you're playing against Butchers, because it's like, oh, which order would you like me to melt your characters in?
Yeah, unless you're playing against Butchers. But certainly against most 2-2 teams.
Yes, yeah.
Or a team where that double crowd out really becomes punishing, but they still want to do damage to you.
Right.
So... yeah, just don't do damage. That's how you beat Hammer, everyone. You heard it here first. Just don't do damage.
Get somebody who's overly aggressive with Hammer.
Yeah.
Don't damage him.
Yeah.
Alright, so
thanks everybody for watching. I hope you like this. There might be more coming. Keep an eye out.
Hopefully we get good.
Yeah, maybe we'll get good someday.
Maybe that should be the name of our podcast, Get Good.
Maybe we get good someday.
Just get good.
All right. And thanks, Randall, for joining me for this.
Thank you, Zach.